Hi, welcome back. This is the second video in our series this month on special considerations with reinforcement. In this video, we're talking about the difference between bribery and reinforcement. There is a fine line between the two, and you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you are engaging in reinforcement and not bribery. I know we've talked about this in previous months, but it's a mistake that people often make. It's a mistake I myself often make. And so I want to talk to you this month and during this video about how we can continue to be aware of our use of reinforcement and making sure that we're using it as a preventative strategy and as a behavior intervention rather than as crisis intervention, because we definitely don't want to be using reinforcement as crisis intervention. And so if you follow us on Facebook, you can find a resource that accompanies this on our Facebook posts. You can also locate a resource under this month's section on our website at www.everydaybehaviors.com, and it will be titled Reinforcement versus Bribery. So what is reinforcement? Reinforcement, again, is anything that increases the future frequency of behavior. When you're doing reinforcement, it should be a contract. It should be an antecedent strategy or a preventative strategy, which means you should set the expectation of what it is that you want your child or your student to follow. And then you should set what the criteria is to earn a reinforcer if they follow that expectation. So reinforcement should be directly linked to meeting an expectation or meeting a goal. It shouldn't be for stopping or for the absence of the challenging behavior. So let's say you're going into the grocery store. I use this example all the time because it's the time that we are most likely to use bribery. But you're going into the grocery store. Usually when you're going into the grocery store, you're wanting to get in and out, you're somewhat rushed, you're hurried. And so you pull into the parking lot, you hop out of the car, you grab the kids, you get them in the car, and you go in the car, or in the grocery store. Once you get into the grocery store, it is a very stimulating environment for children, and they see all these things that they may want or need, and they start asking for things. This can trigger a lot of challenging behavior. It can trigger begging, it can trigger touching, it can trigger just that overstimulation can trigger a lot of behavioral agitation or running around, acting silly. There's all these people to watch, and so it can trigger a lot of negative behaviors. We don't necessarily anticipate these when we're going into the store, and then once we get into the store, we're like, oh my goodness, it's very aversive to you as a parent, and so you want the children to stop whatever it is that they're doing, right? All of these negative, embarrassing, frustrating, annoying behaviors. And so sometimes we result in bribery, in which we will say, if you stop doing whatever this is, whining, crying, running away, touching things, being obnoxious, if you stop, then you will be able to earn, if you follow the rules the rest of the way through the grocery store, you will be able to earn choosing one thing before we leave. It doesn't even have to be a candy. It could be choosing anything, this thing that they've been begging for the last 5 minutes. So what happened in that scenario? You went into the grocery store without a plan. If the child or your children would have followed the rules throughout the grocery store, they may or may not have gotten something, but it may not have triggered you to offer a reward, right? However, when they start engaging in something negative, then they can stop so that they can earn. So you end up in this situation where first they start a challenging behavior, then they stop. If they stop, contingency is implemented. Reinforcement is actually bribery, is implemented. If you stop, then you can earn. However, if they would have never started, then they couldn't have stopped, then they couldn't have earned. And so it's this negative cycle where children learn, first I have to start doing something aversive so that I can stop doing something aversive so that I can earn. This could be on Saturday morning. Maybe you wake up on Saturday morning and you're like, we're doing nothing today. It's going to be a relaxing day. It's going to be calm. Nothing's going to happen. The children start fighting. They start begging for things. They want to go somewhere. They want to go out and eat. They want a friend to come over. All these things. And you're like, okay, if you follow this rule, if you stop fighting, if you clean your room, whatever, then you can have what it is that you're asking for. Well, at the beginning of the day, there was no if you follow this rule, you can earn this. It wasn't until they started that the contingency was offered. In that situation, if the contingency is if you now follow the rule or if you stop, then you can earn, then you are in a situation of bribery. So what you want to do when you're implementing reinforcement is you want to come into a situation with a plan. It's not crisis management. It's not crisis intervention. So once you're in that state of we are in a bad place, that's not the time to offer a reward or reinforcement, because then it's reinforcement for stopping or for changing your behavior, not for starting out on the right foot. So reinforcement should really be about starting out on the right foot. So you want to set forth the contingency before Saturday morning starts. You want to set forth the contingency before you go into the grocery store. And this requires a little bit of planning, a little bit of forethought, and being very preventative and proactive. And so that's why we talk about this within our antecedent strategies. But you want to think, what is it that I want the children to do? What is the rule I want them to follow? And what will they earn from that? This is like a job contract. What is your job and what is your paycheck? Here is your job today, and it should be meaningful. Reinforcement should always be meaningful, but here is your job today, and here's what you will earn for doing your job. Make sure you look at the different types of reinforcers. It does not have to be monetary. It can be attention-based. It can be time-based. It can be activity-based. It does not have to cost money. So we work on a paycheck, but children work on a lot of different things. So here is your job. If you do this job, here's what you will earn. Here's your job in the grocery store. Here's your job in the classroom. Here's your job on Saturday. And if you do your job, here's what you will earn. This sets the foundation for later self-discipline, later discipline in the workplace to meet those expectations. So I hope you found some of this information helpful. I hope you find the information valuable. Please follow us on Facebook, follow us on our YouTube channel, and also visit us on our website at www.everydaybehaviors.com. Thanks. See you next time.